Let me guess. You've been in a conversation where someone was saying something and you nodded along like you totally got it, but then later you were thinking, wait, what did they mean? Don't worry, you're not alone. Misunderstandings happen, especially when English isn't your first language. But here's the good news. With a few simple tips, you can avoid those awkward moments and feel super confident in any situation. Okay, let's paint a picture. You're in a work meeting. Your manager says, we need to move the project timeline forward. Now, does that mean make it sooner? Delay it? Cancel it? And you're just sitting there like, smile and nod, smile and nod. It's frustrating, right? Misunderstandings like this can leave you feeling unsure, anxious, or even embarrassed. But here's the thing, it's not your fault. English can be confusing, and a lot of people, native speakers included, aren't always very clear. So it's all about learning how to listen actively and how to ask the right questions. Tip number 1, paraphrase to confirm. Do you want to know the easiest way to make sure that you're on the same page? Repeat what you heard, but in your own words. For example, if somebody says, let's move the meeting to Friday, you can say, so just to confirm, we're moving the meeting to this Friday? This does two things. One, it shows that you're paying attention. And two, it makes sure that there's no confusion. Tip number 2 is to ask clarifying questions. Here's the thing. No one expects you to understand 100% of everything all the time. So if something isn't clear, just ask. Use phrases like, can you explain that a little bit more? Or, when you say this Friday, do you mean the one coming up? Trust me, asking questions is not a sign of weakness. It's a power move. Tip 3 is to listen for key words and tone. You don't have to catch every single word to understand a message. Focus on important things such as names, dates, or actions. And here's a pro tip. Pay attention to tone. For example, if somebody says that's an interesting idea, but their voice just sounded like they ate a lemon, that's an interesting idea. They may not actually think it's that interesting. Listen beyond the words. Tip 4 is to practice reflective listening. Now, this one is a game changer. Reflective listening is when you repeat something to someone almost word for word to make sure that you got it correct. For example, if somebody says, we need to revisit this next week, you can say, so you're saying we'll come back to this in a week, right? It's simple, but it's super effective. In fact, research shows that if you practice reflective listening in the serving industry, your tips will go up. And tip number 5 is pause before responding. You know us with our STHD method, but here's the truth. Silence is your best friend. If you rush to respond, you might miss important details. So when someone is speaking, simply take a beat to understand what they were saying. Take the extra second to process what you heard. It's like that old saying, measure twice, cut once. Except here, you're measuring your words. All right, let's talk about culture. We often use indirect language. For example, instead of saying, I think that's a bad idea, someone might say, I don't think that that's the best approach. It's also like when we hear someone say, we'll see, we know that that means probably not. But understanding these small nuances can make a very big difference. And if you're ever unsure, simply ask, could you explain what you mean by that? It works every time. Okay, so a quick recap to avoid misunderstandings. We want to paraphrase, ask questions, listen for keywords and tone, use reflective listening, and give ourselves a moment to process before we respond. Easy, right? Okay, maybe not easy, but doable, especially with a little bit of practice. And speaking of practice, if you are ready to take your English speaking skills to the next level, we would love to help you out. Our program is designed to help you communicate confidently, connect deeply, and feel like yourself in English. Click the link below and book a call with us. We'll talk about your goals, your struggles, and how we can help you reach that next level. No pressure, just a friendly conversation. We're excited to meet you. And if you're curious on how we give feedback to our clients, this video will show you how we help women become fluent quickly. See you there.